Are we on?
We're
We're
on.
Hey everyone! Been a while since I've been able to do a video, so sorry, I've been busy. But I wanted to touch base with everybody because I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to share with you today. Some real fun stuff. First thing is, it's pouring out. Thank our highest powers for finally bringing the rain to us, because we need it. We've had almost 2 inches so far, or at least 2 inches, which means it's kind of muddy out there. We're going to do some stuff outside here in just a second, so we're going to hang out inside for a minute. And yeah, let's touch base for a minute, because it's been a bit, and I wanted to share some wonderful things with some wonderful people. So, some basics. I'm sure most of you are staying on top of your research on the current events. For all of those who are aware of what's going down in this world, please buckle up. Make sure you get your last details ironed out, because we're hearing, yeah, definitely, finally, whatever, that October and November are going to be jaw-dropping in the things that are going on. So we want to make sure that everybody is aware of it. Your heart's in the right place. Your mind is in the right place. You know, you've gotten the things you need to taken care of and whatnot. Because that's what T and I have been doing here the last month or so, is working really hard to work with our community members in order to make sure we can get as much stuff done. And while these events are going on, T and I are going to be even more busy, because we got the folks that haven't gotten here yet that are working to get here, and we need to get that set up, especially in the lower cabin. Since they are moving here, we're leaving some of those things a little more private. Okay, you know, some of the because I know a lot of you like to see the projects that I do. As you can see, we've even started doing some of the tongue and groove and stuff here in this cabin. We're doing it down in the other cabin. We got tile work that we've done. I've got more electrical, more solar we've put in. There's a lot of stuff that we've done, but because it's not mine, I'm not going to share all of that with you. But you should know that that's what T and I have been up to, is working to serve our community as best we can with the conditions that we have available. So we've got a little fun today, and I want to take you. You want to go back out, Shadow? Say bye-bye. Going out in the rain. Life is hard for us during these times, because it makes it very challenging to do what we want to do. And unfortunately, sometimes situations develop in which we can't be where we really, really want to be. And there were periods of time in my career, early on in my surveying and civil engineering career, where I had to, in order to pay the bills, I had to leave and be out of city, out of state, and a long ways away from my babies and my family at the time. And it was not easy for me. It was very hard. I think it played a good part of the issue of why things didn't make it in my first marriage. So whenever there's an opportunity to make sure people stay connected, I always like to help. So today I've got somebody with me that has come to get some piglets. Yep. And out of random chance, there was a connection here that we didn't even realize, and somebody here. Yes. We've been talking on the phones, because I put up a ad for the pigs, and I got a call, and as we get to talking, oh my God, like mine. Yeah, yeah. We are so in the we're in tune. Yep. What's going on, the things that we need to do and whatnot. And so she decided she was going to come up and get some of the piglets, and we're going to go out. We'll go look at that in a minute. But yeah. Karen here talks to her husband, and her husband says, "Oh, that Erin.scott." So apparently she didn't know that he had been watching my videos, and whenever I get an opportunity to say, hello and connect with people you know, I do it. We're all. I talk to so many of you, and well, Justin, buddy, we got you here. So you have an opportunity.
Okay.
We're going to show them. We're going to go out here and show them what you're coming up here to do.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about. Some systems and stuff that you know might help you guys. But buddy, I know what it's like being away from home. I truly sympathize with you, and for that, anything that you want to say to him, send him love, give him hugs.
I'm going to take this opportunity to say happy anniversary.
Whoa! I didn't know that.
Yeah, 10 years
10
tomorrow.
years? Wow!
Hey,
this will go up
yes,
before then.
Definitely.
And I love you, and I thank you for everything that you do for our family. I know it's not easy on you. And I just feel so blessed to expand our circle with Erin and T. You know, and I'm looking forward to a lot of good years and good community.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you for the opportunity.
it's not immediately next door, but you know it's close enough. Close enough for you to go down there. Especially now that we got a vehicle that will let us. When we had the van, we got some other folks that we know down that way, and if y'all see us, Tammy and
Dennis,
Tammy and Dennis. Might see if you hook up with these folks because they're around your neighborhood. They're only a few minutes away from you, Tammy. And
Hey, Tammy.
well, we got to connect, you know,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm trying to make sure that as many people stay connected because I've done this many times. Is where you know when I find out I know two people who know me and they're close, you know, I see, you know, because we were divided and conquered, and we need to come back together. And this is the whole grassroots, as Cliff High likes to call them, the self-organizing collectives. We're coming back together in little bits and pieces, and I wanted to kind of share that with you. So that's it. And you came here to get some pigs.
I did.
So why don't you pause that? And let's go out and let's take a look at the little ones.
we're all live.
Here, go with it. And nose first. There, close up.
Oh, shit.
All right, there's one.
There's one. That's female.
Okay. Let's see. Got
There
it.
we go.
Got it.
All right. Now, do you care about the coloration?
I like the Oreo, but I mean, you know, we're working quickly, so.
Well,
I'm not going to be.
all right. Then look. Put your head over here.
Okay.
And they're all boys.
Except for the one that's got bandage on her foot.
That's kind of a runt.
Okay.
The one that's got the bandage on her, where is she at?
She's
Alright, so that's her. So this is the last girl.
Okay.
All the others are boys. So you got that one, almost all black one.
How about him?
which one?
Let's see. Watch
All
out.
right.
See this?
No,
This
that's
is my
a
little girl.
Oh, that's the girl.
No, wait.
no, that's a boy.
That's a boy if you want him.
All right.
No,
Oh, he's sick.
there.
Okay.
Holy moly! Oh, I'm gonna lose my shoe.
Don't lose your shoe.
Alright.
I know you're mad, yeah.
Oh, I gotta get the board out of there.
Yeah, because they gotta come out. All right.
Alright, that's good for you. Alright, so Justin, I'm not sure you can see him. Get the cameras down there. But buddy,
There's the little girl.
it's kind of hard to see him. They're
There's the little
they've
boy.
gotten big here in the last few days. They've really put on some weight. But let's turn them in this way, because they got a long ways to go. That way they can hear and see each other.
Can kind of see each other, yeah.
You got a long ride. Alright, we got more stuff to talk about.
Okay.
Alright, so one of the things that these two are looking to get into is some solar as well. So Let's do some basics. Now, we
All right.
didn't have a chance to talk about it on the phone very much, but we're
Right.
just going to do a brief rundown so that he can kind of get a heads up and he can hear about what you're hearing about.
Okay.
So I'm living off of these 6 panels right here for the house. So I build these pole mounts,
Yeah.
and you know, anybody who can weld can do this. I've got the videos up on how to do this. I also have the videos on how to hook up and connect things. But the big issue, and it's the same issue that everybody has with the different things that they got to prep and pack and get and go and all that stuff, is how much do I allot to each one of these issues, and that's all going to be boiled down to how much your budget is.
Yeah.
So this system, the materials have gone up in price. The availability has gone way down here,
I bet.
and I was able to install this size system for about $8,500 at one time. Now we're talking closer to 10,
Right.
if we can get everything.
If you can get it.
But this is a good size system. I've got about 1.7 kilowatts of power on a good day, which means if you do all the degradation calculations, what we have seen on our charge controller inside is up to 1,500 watts, even though this thing says 1,700 watts. So there's 2 main questions you got to ask yourself when you want to go into something like this.
All right.
One, how much power do I absolutely want to be guaranteed that I've got?
Yep.
What do I want to run? So on and so forth. The next question is, how much is my budget? Because it's your budget that's always going to kind of be the parameters of it. And when I go into talking to people about how much solar there is, or how much solar they want, I go straight to that point, because they're saying, well, I want this and I want that and I want to run this, and I'm like, how much money you got? I know that sounds kind of rude, but I can't build anything more than you have.
Right.
So if you could say, well, I've got 10,000 or 12,000 or 15 or 20 or whatever, that sets it. But know this, if we were to deal with some bad issues,
Yeah.
and we've seen that in Texas and stuff, but there's been a lot of events that have happened. T and I used to do a lot of these systems where we only had 2 panels, and when they were 250 watt panels, so they were like a 500 watt system. And for in the 4 to 5,000,
Yeah.
6,000 category, you could have enough power for lights, charging batteries, and actually run into appliances. Because when T and I first got off grid back in 2013, because it's been 8 years, we literally lived off a 500 watt system for quite a while, and we didn't want for power, depending upon what you need. And if you can manage it, know when to turn this off and plug this in and use the power for a little bit here and there, I was still able to run most of my power tools and stuff on that 500 watts. So one of the things that you want to do when you and Justin sit down and talk about this is, you got a lot of different systems that you're going to want to get in place.
Right.
The question is, what do you got for funds, and what do you can't live without?
What do I have to have?
What do you have to have? Because you can determine, or let me put it this way, you can massage the design of a system to save money in one end versus another if you're willing to work around the habits that you need to have.
Yeah.
So like with T and I, we don't want to work our battery bank over too hard at night, so we don't leave things plugged in.
Right.
So at night, every night, T and I go around, we plug everything out, unplug everything, and we flip the inverter and we kill the inverter and shut it all down, so that our batteries don't cycle every night.
Yeah.
But that's a habit we got into. You can do that with 500 watts, and you can run a whole lot, and for about 3,000 or 4,000, you might have enough power to live the rest of your lives comfortably if for some reason or another there was a long-term power outage. However, I got to build stuff. I got to make stuff in my shop. I got to do things, so I've got another system there, and this one's big enough.
Yeah.
If we had the perfect sun, this amount of power, was it yesterday or the day before?
I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday. We ran all 3 of our freezers.
No, it was the day
Day
before.
before. We ran all 3 of our freezers and both window units.
Wow.
So 5 compressors. It was pulling 1,280 watts. It was pulling
About
a lot of
1,300 watts, yeah.
About 1,300 watts, which means the inverter was, cooling fan was running and all that,
Yeah.
but it did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it did it for a couple hours
Yeah, it did.
while we had it. And then we started getting clouds, and that was the end of running it. But I only do that when I'm producing.
Yeah.
So anyway, you guys are gonna. I'll talk a little bit more with her off camera because we don't want to make too long a video. But the point is this: you two, Justin and Karen, you're gonna have a little conversation about what areas you can hit and how you can do that. I'm gonna give her a lot of other ideas on navigation that she'll bring to you.
Yes.
So we're out here showing Karen the greenhouse because she wanted to see how we do the food for the 4 seasons, be able to do stuff. So we will be planting here soon some lettuce and kales and greens so that we have some greens going into fall and winter. But wanted to talk about the build on this. That got taken down, didn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I went down with the old channel.
Yep.
But the cost for putting this together, and Justin is very capable from what you're telling me.
Yes.
To put up a greenhouse like this, now I got a little elaborate in the way I designed this because I wanted some architectural structure look to it. And but all of this we did. So we got this rough cut lumber before I had my sawmill from a local mill, and it cost a heck of a lot less. And then I did the design work, but you guys can do this, and there's many reasons for it. The 2 main ones is you want to be able to have fresh greens in the winter time and whatnot, so that you can keep live food in you. The other issue is, although there is some discussion about whether they're still doing it or not, we still see the heavy metal injections into the atmosphere. And you kind of really don't want that on certain foods. Root crops aren't as bad, but if you're going to eat the leaves where the dusts and stuff settle on it, yeah, you can wash them in the sink, but
Yeah, it's still there. Can't wash it all.
there's a bunch of good reasons to do this. But you guys can put one of these together without too much difficulty. Getting greenhouse plastic is still fairly inexpensive. And that's the hard thing, the one thing that you want to get. If you can and you would prefer to get some of that corrugated sheets. Mm-hmm. One day maybe we'll do that on this, but cost-wise, we got a roll of that this is half a roll that was 50-something feet long.
I think so, yeah.
50-something feet, so this was half a roll. Mm-hmm. And that roll only cost us $50.
Really?
At that time. Now, it was
at that
shipping.
time, yeah.
It was shipping, so I don't know what it is now, but I don't think it's that much more.
Wow.
So if you can...
It's totally doable.
Now, you said you got some acreage?
We have a few acres,
So you got some trees?
Yes.
So, you come up, we got the mill, we could mill out some boards, and then you could put something together. But you definitely want to do this. The cinder blocks aren't necessary. T and I did one. We were doing those high tunnels.
Oh yeah,
tunnels.
up in tunnel.
And we did a 12-foot wide by 75-foot long one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 600 bucks for everything.
Yeah, we had to redo a few things.
That's because
but I think it was
PVC
about
because there's a lot of people on YouTube that will build them with PVC.
Yep.
And the PVC, what we found out, the PVC was fine, but when you put that cement on it, those glue joints become extraordinarily brittle.
Brittle during the winter.
And so during the winter, they were cracking the glue joints.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, we did metal piping after that.
Yeah.
But there you go. And we want to take one look at one other thing, because you mentioned that he thought that was pretty cool. So let's go out. So there was there's a gentleman on YouTube, or there's another homesteading channel. It's a really nice big one called Doug and Stacy.
Off grid with
Off grid with Doug and Stacy, and they do a lot of good things. So when we first got the bees, T and I did a huge amount of learning. We binge watched a lot of stuff. Well, there's a guy by the name of Dr. Leo. He's Russian, and he came up with the long hive, the long hive deal. And now see, Dr. Leo is not a woodworker, so he was kind of blocky in the way he did things.
Yeah.
So I went in and I said, well, I can do this a little bit better. So I designed these and I built them. So the video for how to make them is all that. So if he's got some skill sets, he can put one of these together.
Absolutely.
I kept getting asked for plans. So I finally sat down and did a set of plans. So anybody wants plans, you know, email me, because I still got it. $20 for the PDF and you're good to go. But they're all cold and they're hiding in there.
Yes, they are.
You should have seen it the other day. Boy, they were all over the place. And this was one of our fun years.
Yeah.
So when you don't have bees, you want bees.
Yeah, we have a couple of hives. We just got them in May, and we're not taking any honey off of them this year.
So you do have bees?
Yeah, but they're Langstroms, the typical.
The standard bucks.
Yes.
So I can either help you, because I was building them. I sold. How many have I sold? 3?
I think three or four.
Plus I've got the ones that I've got, and or you guys build them yourself, one way or the other. That's the way to do it. Everybody who sees how a long hive works pretty much goes, you know, this. Why didn't we do that before?
Yeah, and it's easier on your back too.
Yes.
The 8 and 10 frame commercial boxes were designed for commercial purposes because they would be moving bees from place to place, and they wanted something that you could grab and go.
Right.
For a homesteader or somebody who's a beekeeper, you absolutely don't want to be picking it up and moving it. And if you can get in there and look at one frame at a time without disturbing them too much, it makes a huge difference.
And that's the nice thing about these type, is because with the stackable boxes, you're having to move a whole box instead of keeping the girls covered, and you're looking at one frame versus 10 frames exposed.
So there's a difference between the commercial and homesteading. So you know, it is so much easier, been way so much easier for us to do things like clean out some frames for honey, or pulling splits and whatever you got to do.
Easier.
The managing this is there's a few folks that are local that we've helped around here that cannot pick up an 8 or 10 frame box, and that this was the way that they had to go with it. So, all right, we've had a fun visit. There's still some more stuff that we're going to talk about, but again, I give you one more chance. Anything you want to say to Justin before we?
I wish you were here.
Yeah.
And I love you, and I hope you have a great hitch, and can't wait to see you when you get back.
You gotta learn when not to push the button.
I slipped.
That's okay. You gotta love it. Bloopers in different ways. We wouldn't show it, but the poor little piglets. She brought 2 little small cat carriers. Those little piglets use their little noses, whoop, and rip those cages apart. They're running around the back of her car right now. And we hear those. I hope you all enjoyed. It was a pleasure having her here, and I love meeting my community like this. Y'all take care, and again, storms on top of us in multiple ways. Really.
She's like, okay, I'll climb up here.
Y'all take care.